So, may this text light upon your navels, and be as honey to your bones, and marrow to thy taste.
Amen!
With that blessing, I present to you the parable of the man. Following is the text of a parable, which to some will seem ostensibly to come from the Bible. This text, however, in no way claims divine authorship, but is in fact apocryphal, meaning doubtful. From the best analysis available, the parable appears to come from the Book of Thomas, which dates to the early -21st century BC. Like all parables, this parable appears to have a message the author intends to communicate to his readers, but as with its authorship, its meaning is also apocryphal. What is readily apparent from the text, however, is the author's great literary skill, the most salient feature of which is undoubtedly the skill of plagiarism. And so, without further obfuscation, I present to you the parable of the man. In the beginning, God created the man and said unto him, Thou art the man, and upon this rock I will build my people, therefore be fruitful and multiply. And so the man grew and waxed exceeding great, and brought forth 60-fold. But it came to pass after 40 days and 40 nights that the children of man did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord returned one day from walking to and fro, and hither and thither in the earth, and his anger burned, and he said, I will destroy the children of man off the face of the earth with fire and millstone. And God said to the man, Go and make thee an ark of gopher wood. And the man asked, What kind of wood? And God said, Just go for wood. So the man went thence for wood. And it fell upon the day that the man was chopping a tree, and behold, the axe had slipped and fell into a river. So the man cast 5 smooth stones into the river, and the axe head floated. And as the man walked out onto the water to retrieve the axe head, behold, a great fish came up and swallowed him. And he was in the belly of that fish for 40 days and 40 nights. And it came to pass on the 40th day, as James and John were fishing, that they cast their nets on the other side and took up the great fish. And the fish spewed the lukewarm man out of his mouth onto dry ground. And behold, there was a cruse of water and a cake of bread on the coals, and he did eat and was filled, and went on the strength of that meal 40 days and 40 nights. And the man went down to Jericho, and as he went, he met the queen of Sheba, and she gave him 30 pieces of raiment and 100 changes of raiment. Oh, 30 pieces of silver and 100 changes of raiment. But the man fell among thieves, which stole his money, stripped him of his garments, beat him till he was half dead, and cast him among thorns. And the thorns grew up and choked the man. Until an angel took the man and bound up his wounds and sent him on his way. And as he came to Jericho, he heard that the king was there. When he could not see the king because of the crowd, for he was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he climbed up to the rooftop and lowered himself into the house. Behold, when the king saw him, he said, Friend, come up higher and sit with me at the banquet. But the man said, I have just married a wife and cannot come. And he went on his way rejoicing. And behold, there met him a child possessed of a devil. And the man said, Silver and gold have I none, but what I have I give thee. And he gave him a mustard seed, which grew into a great fig tree planted by the rivers of water. And Ahab came and asked him to buy the fig tree, and laid the money at his feet. But he kept back part of the price. And the man said, Because thou hast done this, God has rejected thee from being king. And behold, the earth opened and swallowed him with weeping and gnashing of teeth. It came to pass, while he was yet in the way, there met him another man, to whom he owed 50 pence. And the man besought him thrice with tears that he would pay all, and have mercy. But the other man would not forgive, and was wroth, and cast him into prison, and ordered them to heat the prison 7 times hotter. But that night there was a great earthquake, and the walls came tumbling down. And the angel Gabriel came and smote him, and said, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy. Rise up, and follow me. And he rose and followed and came to the house of Rahab, who hid him. And the ravens came and beat upon that house, but it stood firm. And he was hid for 40 days and 40 nights. And afterwards they let him down over the wall of the city in a basket. From thence The man got onto his chariot and drove furiously to the Red Sea. And behold, 2 lion-like men of Moab guarded the river with flaming sword. And they said to the man, "Say not Shibboleth." And he said Shibboleth, for he was out of breath and could not frame to pronounce it. Then they took him and bound him and cast him into the river. But he burst his bands as if they had been flax. And when he smote the waters, they parted, and he crossed on dry bones. And it came to pass that while he rode under a great oak tree, behold, his hair caught in the tree, and he hung there for 40 days. And the ravens of the valley brought him manna and quail. Until his wife Delilah came to shape up his hair. And the man fell upon stony ground. And as he went up from thence, young men came out of the city and said, "Go up, bald head, go up, thou bald head." And he cursed the children, and 40 she-bears came out of the woods and tore them. And as the man grew thirsty, as the deer pants after water, he would have fain filled his belly with water, or wine, or water turned to wine. And he remembered the proverb saying, "Take a little wine for thy stomach's sake." So he smote a rock, and water gushed forth, but the water turned to blood. So he would not drink of it, but poured it on the ground. But he soon came to a well of water where there was a camel, who offered to draw out water for him, and carry him for a mile. But the man compelled the camel to go a 2nd mile. Yet this blessed camel was meek, and journeyed with him for 40 days and 40 nights. And as they journeyed, they came to a pool of water at Bethesda, and the water began to stir, and behold, out came an Ethiopian eunuch, who invited him into his chariot. And as they went on the way, the man inquired of the eunuch's family whether they were in good health. But the Lord loosed the tongue of the camel and said, I think that's what it sounds like when they loose the tongue of a camel, or something like that. It's like,
"It's easier for me to go through the eye of a needle than for this Ethiopian to have a family."
And when he heard these words, the man went away very sorrowful. And he traveled to Philistia, and behold, at Gath there met him a man of great stature with 6 fingers of each hand, and 6 toes on each foot. And he went up to the 6-fingered man and said, "You have been weighed in the scales and found wanting. You fool! Tonight your life will be required of you. Set your house in order, and prepare to die." And as the man continued on, behold, Jezebel looked out the window and cast a piece of millstone at him. And the man was wroth and said, "Throw her down!" And they threw her down. And he said, "Throw her down again!" And they threw her down again. 70 times 7 they threw her down. And the fragments that they gathered up were 12 basketfuls. And now the question is, whose wife will she be on the day of resurrection?